Hello, good evening. Yeah, you can sign now our Google Sheet attendance. I already allow accepting responses. Thank you. Hello, good evening. Am I clear? Is my audio clear po?
Yes po.
Okay, thank you po.
Very well.
Okay, so we'll start now the class. But before that, I would just like to take a screenshot of our video photo today. Can you turn on your videos? I think it's not working for me. Okay. So one, Ma'am Oluwa, are you there? Wait. One, two, three. Ay, wait. Wait. Another one. One, two, three. Okay, thank you. Okay, so for tonight, we will be discussing now basics of Python. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so good evening. So we will be discussing basics commands in Pythons and variables and data types manipulation, and we will try to cover all up to control flow statements. But I assume that yeah, don't worry. We will be I will explain it in simplest possible way. Okay, so let's go now to the basic commands in Python. Okay, so again, when you open your notebook, just double click the file name with .ipynb. So in order for it to um, be opened. And by default, as you can see, you are not connected to your, again, resources. Okay, so this is your notebook. Okay, so tonight, in our first part, we will be discussing executing basic commands in Python using Google Colab. Okay, so as an introduction, one of the strengths of Python is its simplicity and readability. So as you have learned last time, we compared with other programming languages such as your JavaScript and your C++. Okay, Python is just like your English language that is simple. And if you say readability, okay, what you see on your screen is the one, no, uh, is the process, no, that your program will give you an output. Okay, so making it an ideal language for beginners. So whether you're conducting analysis, you're building web applications, or scripting automated tasks, because in Python you can do scripts, no, that lets you automate your daily tasks, okay? Such as, for example, in your organization, you are tasked to check every day whether there are duplicate values, no, in your different forms or in your data. So you can now automate your tasks using Python scripts. Okay, you just code and you just run. Okay, then so the basics of Python remain consistent whether you're conducting data analysis, building web applications, and scripting. So in this notebook, we will explore some fundamental Python commands, highlighting their utility and providing context of their application. So this is the foundation, no? This is our basics upon which later on when we do our machine learning, so which is a more complex topics or even your exploratory data analysis in cleaning your data and so on and so forth. So you need to know these basic things. Okay, so in everything naman that you learn, okay, we try to first learn and familiarize ourselves in the basic of such, in this case, Python programming. Okay, so our first topic is about variable. Okay, so the basic foundation of Python or any other programming language is a variable and its data type. So what are variables? So variables are used to store information, no? So you store an information that can be referenced and manipulated in a program. It's like a label. So for example, uh, you have a data or you have an information about PJ Arce Kasem or Saleh Al Showtari. So what's all about, what is this value? So you need to have a label, like, so variables are also like labels. So this the one I mentioned are, you can call it a variable name. Okay, so that's what our variables are for. So variables, as I have said, they can hold various types of data. Okay, such as you have numbers. Okay, like your age. Age is either you're 20 years old and so on and so forth. Strings. Okay, so we will learn all of this one as we go along. Strings such as your name. So your name is a string. Okay, and lists. So you have your lists, your tuples, your dictionaries, yan. Okay, we will learn all that time, all of that, okay? So what are the different data types in Python? So as I have said, you have your numbers. So numbers in Python can either be an integer type, okay, and a float type. If you say integer, it's a whole number. Okay, so as you can see here, integer type is equal to 10. So 10 is an integer type of data, which is a whole number. It has no decimal. If we say float, okay, it has a decimal. So your decimals can have one decimal place until it's like your mathematical expression also, no? It has a decimal. Then as I have said, a string, okay, is a character, non-numeric character, which is in Python, it is enclosed by double, what's this one? Quotes, okay? They are inside quotes. And your Boolean type, if you say Boolean, there are only two possible values. We have true or false. So here is one. So integer type holds an integer value, again, as a whole number. Float type, it's a decimal point. So I hope you are not confused, okay? Then a string series of characters inside quotes. Okay, as we learn string manipulation later on, it's either be a double quote or a single quote. Okay, then Boolean, as I have said, true or false. So these are some of the basic data types in Python. So as I said, these are the building blocks, no, of more complex operations and data structures, as you can see later on. Okay, so since we are dealing with variables, how can we name our variables? Okay, so as I have said, this value 10 is inside a variable named integer type. Okay, so how is it? So always start with a letter. Okay, it's either a capital letter or a small letter. Okay, then no leading numbers. Okay, you cannot use a variable name that has a number as a start. You can have an error of that. Okay, for an instant variable, one variable. Okay, but you can use a a number after the letter. Okay, so I hope you remember this. So never declare a variable that starts with a number. Then thirdly, avoid using leading underscores. Okay, such as underscore variable or underscore name, because it will be treated as protected variable. Okay, it's for the system's use and should not be accessed directly outside its module or class. So it is a special variable that cannot be used in your ordinary coding. Then of course, you cannot have special symbols in your variable names. What are these special symbols, such as your at, your dollar sign, your percentage sign, your slash, and so on and so forth. Okay? Then for the fifth one, as I have said, you always start with the letter and followed by, you can now have a letter again, a number, or an underscore. Okay? So after the first letter, the variable name can be followed by letters, numbers 0 to 9, or underscores. Okay? Then always remember that your variables are case sensitive. Okay? So if, for example, you declare a variable called name, uh, uh, which is all capital letters, you can also declare again a variable that is called name, which is all small letters, or the letter N, or the first character is also big letter. Okay, it can be used in your code without problems, because they are different, because as I have said, naming variables are case sensitive. Okay, then you should not use a variable that are called reserved words. What are these reserved words? Like for example, we have the reserved word while for the while loop. Okay, for the for loop and the if else statement. We will learn all of that one a while ago, because because Python, okay, reserves the rights, no, for these words, because they are incorporated, or because they are treated as a method or as a function inside the Python. Okay? Then always use descriptive names. Okay? What do we mean by this one? Variable name should be descriptive and indicate the purpose or kind of data they hold. For example, if you want to store your patient's name inside a variable, you can use patient name as your variable. Don't use age, for example, because it should describe what your variable is all about. Okay? And of course, yeah, this is example. Patient name is more than just uh, using P. What is P? So that when others, or when you go back to your code, you will not be confused. Okay? And if you use that variable in your succeeding operations or succeeding codes, it will be easier for you also to remember. Okay, because as I have said, Python is readability. Okay, for example, print patient name, like that. Then avoid using single character names, as I have said, such as letter P, okay, or exceptions. What are the exceptions? It is you can the variable X or Y. Okay, when we go on machine learning, okay, you will encounter this variable X or Y. Okay, usually your X is your training. It will be your training data set. It will be stored in your training data set, and your Y is your testing data set. So these are these exemptions, your X and the Y variable. Okay, then also for the loops, like the I, so it is it means index in loop statements, okay, or mathematical equations where such variable names are conventional. And lastly, in naming variables, okay, use underscores for multi-word variables, okay. Do not leave a space, okay. In Python, if you leave a space, it will become an error unless you enclose it with double quotations. But the best practice there is, di ba? You are taught already of your also of your databases, di ba? In our databases, your labels or your fields should if it's a two word or three or more words, you you replace the spaces with underscores. Okay, such as example, patient age is a two word. Okay, so instead of a space, you write your underscore, first name, etc., etc. Okay, so I hope you understand what is a variables and its data types. Okay, so again, you have your integer, float, string, and boolean. And these are the ways on how you name your uh, variables. Okay, then let's go to the next. So how do we assign a variable? Okay, in Python, the equal sign is used for assignment. If we say assignment, we assign a value to a variable. Okay, so what is the format? Okay, again, I hope you still remember our lesson last time. If you want to describe in a code cell, if you want to describe what your code is all about, just start it with a hashtag, and it will be automatically converted into green ones. Okay, so again, the variable name is always at the leftmost part, followed by an equal sign. So for best practice, just place a space in between like this. And then after the equal sign and after the space is your value for that variable. Okay? So for example, you have the name of the variable here is name underscore of underscore variable. So this is your variable name, and what value it contains is this string. Okay, so that's how you assign a value to a variable. You use the equal sign. Okay, now the first function that you should know how to run in Python or any programming language is the print function. Okay, so the print function in Python outputs the specified message to your screen or to your output. Okay, so I hope you remember. In Python, your code cell serves as your execution cells. And you have your input and your output cell. Okay, input code cell and the output code cell here at this one below. So how to print? So again, for example, you store this is a variable named message followed by the equal sign, and this is a string. Okay, it's a string because it is uh, inside double quotations. Okay, let's see. Okay, if you did not enclose it with a if you did not enclose it with a double quotation, so the Python will treat it as a function. Okay, so better enclose it with uh, double quotation. Okay, so how can we use the print function? So there are two ways on how we could utilize the print function. First is this format. So you use the print followed by the open parenthesis and your variable name. In this case, we have the variable name message, this one, and followed by the, okay, close parenthesis. So if you type this one, print, and then when you type your open parenthesis, your closing parenthesis will be automatically appear. And then in between, you can now type your variable name, whatever variable you want to print. Okay? Let's say message again. Yan. Okay? So be sure, as I have said, be sure that what would you that the variable name that you like is declared. Okay? Don't I don't use a variable that is not declared. So in order for you to use a variable, always declare it. For example, in let's first example it. Let's first print this one. Print message. Or another one, you can just enter the variable name message. Okay, so if you use this function, okay, this will be the output. If you use this function, this will be the output. So in aesthetics or in best practice in coding, you always use your print function so that you will be you will familiarize yourself, and your output is clean. Okay, it has no single quotation. And as I have said, for example, you print message. Let's see if it will print. So before that, you should not forget to connect. But if you run a code, Google Colab Notebook will automatically connect to your resources. Okay. Now, what happens? What happened if you, as I have said a while ago, your variable name is case sensitive? Okay, what is the error? There is a name error here. Name, the variable message with all capital letters is not defined. Okay, so don't forget that one, that if you want to use your variable, always declare it first. Okay, so there is an error here because you did not declare any variable here. So for example, you declare this message equals, then double quotation. Again, if you use a double quotation, it will be automatically enclosed and you will type in between them. For example, hello world. That's it. So if you run it again, Control Shift Enter, or you run here, now there is no more error because you already, okay, you already declare your variable. And also, before I forget, be sure that if you use your code cell, okay, it's in order. Okay, so what do I mean if it's in order? So the first line of code will always be the one to be processed. So for example, let's say print again name, and then you declare here at the last. Let's see if there's an error. So what happened? Okay. So what is the error? Name is not defined, but we already defined it. But as I have said, in your code cell, your code will be executed line by line. Okay, this is one line. Okay, This is another line. That is an empty line. This is also a line. So in reality, if you number it, this is line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, there is a cell line number 10. So where's the cell line number 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the error part. Okay, so are we clear? So you always read the error. Okay, so name error, trace back, most recent. And if there's an error in your code cell, again, it will show. Okay, and when it will have this one. Okay, the red underline here, and if you hover your mouse here, it will immediately, even though it is not executed yet, you can already see what's the error. So in here, name error, name is not defined, the print. So you can view the problem here. Okay, view problem. Okay, so you can view here. Okay, then you can also search Stack Overflow. So let's try. When you click Stack Overflow, okay, there are it will help you to solve your problem. Okay, so if you click this one, I have a Python script. So in Stack Overflow, I hope you are familiar with Stack Overflow. But if you're not, Stack Overflow is one of the best or the biggest repository of public codes and solutions. It's like a community board for various programs. So in here, users will post their. You can also post your problems here, and someone can answer this. Someone will answer your problem. Like this one, I have a Python script, and I am receiving following error. Something is not defined, like that one. Or here is the code. Okay, then in here, users will try to answer your question. Okay, so you can explore this one. Okay, until you can read. Okay, so as I have said, in programming, we not need to memorize anything, but it's important for us to understand what the code is all about. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so I hope we are clear. When you are using your code cell, okay, it will be executed one line by line from your line 1 until your last line here. Okay, so if you declare, so that you should declare it for best practice. Okay, you can use here declaration of variables. Okay, so you can declare all your variables at the beginning. So that's the best practice. So when we reach our Python programming or our machine learning, you can see that our variables should be declared at the start. Okay. Oh, so I hope so. If you run again, okay, there's no more error. So let's just, there's no more error. And your string is already printed. Okay, so do you have any question at this point? So that's that's the very basic, the print function. Okay, next. Arithmetic. So in Python, as I have said, it's simple and it's readable. Okay. So again, Python supports a variety of arithmetic operations. This can be used to perform mathematical operations on numbers. Okay. As I have said, we have two data types for numbers. We have integers and your floats. Okay. So again, at the start of your code, you should declare your variable. So in our case, our variable A is equal to 15 and variable B is 4. Okay? So as I have said, as much as possible, avoid single letter, okay? Single letter variable. Okay? So we can rename this one as num1 and num2. Okay? Now, how do we add? So we add, you see, there's an error now here. Why? Because your code okay, detects that the variable is not A is not defined, okay? Even before you run your code, you can already see that there's an error by having this little underline here below what's the problem, okay? So in addition, okay, so we store in Python, we can add simply by using the plus sign. Okay? But be sure that your plus sign, that your variables are in number format. So as we will discuss a while ago, in a little while on how to convert data types. Okay, so again, we declare a variable named addition, then is equal to, we assign the, we assign values in the variable addition. So I hope we are clear now on variables, okay? So we assign, so A. So what would we like to do to add? So we would like to add the 15 and 4. Okay? So we use, hello, Sir Sale.
Yeah,
Yes.
nothing, sir.
Okay, okay. So I hope okay. So addition. So this is a variable name called addition. And what would we like to add? The values inside this variable num1 and variable num2. So here we use the variable. So num1 plus num2. Okay? Then subtraction, it's easy. You just use the minus sign. Again, since we replace it with a new variable name, so num2, multiplication. Okay, in Python, you use the asterisk in multiplication. Again, num1 times num2. So if you read this one, addition, so the variable addition, the value that will be stored in the variable addition would be the sum of the value in the variable called num1 and the variable called num2. Okay, so I hope we are clear on this. So multiplication is by using asterisk. Okay, so num2. Then division by using the, okay, what's this one? Forward slash. Okay. So num1 again divided by num2. And what is a modulus? A modulus will get the remainder of, when you divide two numbers, okay? Modulus is the remainder, okay? This one, the remainder. Okay, so again, num1 modulus num2, okay? And now we print the answer. So, for example, I will just cut. So, for example, so here we only just assigning variables. So, if you run this one, you will not have any output. Why? Because you did not have a print function. So, in order for you to have a output here, okay, you should print. So what would you print now? So you print the, how can we use the print function again? We use the word print followed by open and close parentheses and uh, and place the variable that you want to print. Okay, in our case, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the modulus variable. So if we run this one again, so be sure that if you use your code cell, be sure as much as possible you maintain it as clean, as readable as possible. Okay? What do I mean? Your description should be accurately describing what is this function and and so on and so forth. Okay, so if we run again this one, we now have our output. Okay, so this one is the output of this one. So addition, so 15 plus 4 is 19, 11, 60, 37 yan. So the modulus 15 divided by 4 is 15 divided by 4 4 times 3. So 3 times 4, 12. Then the remainder is 3. That's why it's 3 here. Okay, so again, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo. So that's how easy uh, uh, is performing arithmetic operations, because later on if you do your your data analysis, you can use these functions. Okay, now number 4, let's go now to relational operators. So in Python, we can also use relational operators. We have the double equal sign. Okay, why not single equal sign? If you use single equal sign, as you have learned already in number 1, when you use your single equal sign, it always mean assigning a variable or reassigning a variable. Okay, so if you want to compare two values if they are equal, therefore you cannot use the single equal sign, because it is already a reserved, okay, a reserved operator, okay, for assigning a variable. Okay, so therefore we use the double equal sign. So if you use the double equal sign, it means you are trying to ask the system, okay, if the two values are equal. If you are also asking your values, is value 1 and value 2 not equal, you use an exclamation point followed by your equal sign. So it's the same as your SQL. So I hope you have now experienced your SQL expressions, no, in when we did our database. And of course, you're less than, you're more than, you're less than or equal, and you're more than or equal. Okay, so how do we do it? So as I have said, relational operators are used to compare two values. So they return either true or false. So this is Boolean. So di ba, we have a data type called Boolean. So they return, their output should only be, if you use relational operators, your output should always be either only true or false. Okay, so for example, again, we declare variables. Okay, so in here, we put the 10 inside the variable named value1, or we assign, or we name a value 1 and assign a value of it in value 10. Okay, so now we use it in our expressions, in our relational expression. So as I have said, the variable name is equals. So what are we trying to, if we read this, uh, how do we read this line of code? So we read this line of code as is the variable is equal, okay, is when we use the variable equal, okay, is value 1 equal to value 2. So if you make it simple, if you run this code already, value 1 is 10. So is 10 equal to 15? Okay. Okay, let's see the answers by and by. So is not equal, you again use the exclamation equal. If it's is less than, we use the less than sign, more than sign, less than or equal, and more than or equal. Okay, so again, in order for you to have an output, okay, use the print function. Okay, then we run it. So if we run it, okay, so we now have 4. So this line of code, the output is the first line of code here. Okay, and so on and so forth. So print is equal. So is 10 equal to 15? Okay, the answer is false. Okay, and 10 is not equal to 15, true. Okay, is 10 less than 15, true, and so on and so forth. So I hope we are clear. Okay, so this one, this is true because 10 is less than or equal to 15. Okay, it's less than 15. That's why it's true. Okay, so I hope we are clear. So do you have any questions so far? So I hope we are clear. So you can also, you can read our Python notebooks. Now, after our relational, we go now to logical operators. So logical operators are your and, or, and not. Okay. So logical operators are used to combine conditional statements. Again, they also return as either true or false like your relational operators. Okay, for example, condition 1 is true. Okay, the variable condition 1, we declared it as true condition, and condition 2 is we declare it as false. Okay? So for example, so if you use and, meaning condition 1 and condition 2 must be true. Okay, so I will get here. Okay, must be true. Okay? So must be true. So since condition 1 here is true and your condition 2 is false, okay, it is false when you print it. If or, okay, either one condition is true and the other one condition is true also, okay, it will print as true because it's or, and not the other way around, the opposite. So not condition 1 is condition 2, which is, so if you print this variable, okay, it will print, okay, the other one. If you if no, if you print this one, okay, if it will print false, okay, because your your condition 1 is true, okay, and this one basta it's the opposite, okay. So that's the logical operators and or not. Okay. So this one, conditional statements, if else. So we will tackle more we will tackle it more we will tackle it deeper in a separate lecture, okay? When we reach the conditional statements, okay? So what are conditional statements? Conditional statements in Python are used to execute specific code blocks, okay, based on certain conditions. Okay, what do we mean by code blocks? So this is a code block, this is another code block, and this is another code block, okay? This is the if statement, okay? And in order for you to execute if number, for example, we declare the variable number, we declare a value 5. Okay, so now we want to store the, the following string inside the variable result, okay, if certain conditions. Okay, so I will explain this. So in here, we declare that the number the variable number will be equal to 5. Okay, if number is less than 0, so if we use the if else statement, so at the end of the if and else statement, we use a colon, okay, in order for us to know that the next line will be a block of code pertaining to this line of code, okay. So what is the format of a specific code block? So your if statement followed by an indentation. So use your indentation, so use tab key, tab, okay. Then, if number is less than 0, okay, we would like to store in the result variable this string, which is the number is negative. Okay, are we clear on this? So, if the variable number is 0, so this line of code will check if the variable number is equal to 0. So, if in other words, it is asking us that if 5 is less than 0, the value of the variable result should be the number is negative string. Okay? Elif, so if elif in other programming languages, elif is else if. Okay? But in Python, we use the elif, no else if. Okay? Elif. Okay. So elif number is equal, di ba? Double equal sign is we are trying to evaluate if the number stored in the variable number is equal to 0. Then we assign. Then the result variable should have the value, the string number is 0. Okay. And else statement. So in elif, you can have many elif here. Okay. Like for example, if number is 0, result is the number is negative. If number is equal to 0, okay, the number is okay 0. If you can have another if. Okay, so but before that we will I will just explain this simple if else statement. Then your else means that okay, if the conditions above the else statement does not meet, okay, this block of code will be executed. Okay, so are we clear? So in our case, if these two block of codes does not meet the requirement, okay, then the value of the result will be this string. Okay, so let's take a look. So if we print this one, the number is positive, meaning this is the one that is printed. Okay, why? Because, okay, 5 is not less than 0, obviously. 5 is also not equal to 0. So, else, this one will be printed. But what if, as I have said a while ago, you can add many elif statements. So for example, elif number is equal to 5, then followed by your colon. Sorry. Elif number is equal to 5, then when you use your colon, when you enter it, it will be automatically indented. Okay? So if elif number is equal to 5, let's say result is the number is 5. Okay, so what if we run this code, what will be the result? What will be the value of the result? What string would be the value of the result? Diba, we print the value, we print again the variable result. So this time, if we click the run button, now, as expected, okay, this line of code, this line of code, the value of the result here will be printed since this block of code meets your requirement. Okay, so are we clear? So do you have any questions in else if statements? So we will further dive into it in our future lectures. So I hope it's clear. Okay? So that's the explanation. Okay? Now, we have the input and output. Okay? The input function allows user input, while the print of course, we know now the print function displays the output of the user. So instead of assigning a value to a variable, you can let your user, input the value of that variable. So how do we input the value of that variable? Okay, so again, you define your variable. This time, we defined a variable name of user. Again, since this is a 3-word, okay, we separate it by, we substitute the space into underscore. So what happens if you did not uh, separate it in an underscore? It would be an error because it will treat it, the Python will treat it as functions, okay? And when you hover this one, again, you see that there is a error. So there is an underline here. Okay? So let me just undo it. Or you can have this one, name of user. But why are we not using this one? Because it's hard, it's not readable anymore. So it is difficult if you are reading fast, okay, and your brain cannot process it immediately. So maybe name of user, oh, what's that? Okay, so for you to have for your brain to process it well, even you if you if you take a look at it immediately, so it's very clear to you that it is pertaining to a name of a user. Okay, so how do we declare an input? We declare it in a variable. Okay, then followed by we assign it. Okay, this is the input function. Okay, we use the word input followed by your open and close parentheses again. And there are two types of what you would like in an input. Okay, your label. Okay, you and your label. So your label. So always, so if you want to have a label of your input, you should uh, treat it as a string. Okay, then for readable purposes, okay, you can have a space in between this one, so that if you print it, so what happens if you do not have a space? So when we run it, okay, then we input it. Okay, there is no space here. So if you want to have a space in between, just okay, place a space character here, and when you type it again, okay, here is your whatever label you have placed here will be printed first, and then the input field, okay, for example, PJ Arce. Then when you press so a code cell that has an input function will not be processed until you enter a value in the input field. So you can see that it's still processing when there is a the stop button and the circling here, the circling animation here, that signifies. So if you do not want to execute this one, just click the stop button, or that's the use of the what? That's the use of the interrupt execution. So if you click the interrupt in execution, so it will be stopped. So it will say that interrupted by user. Okay? So again, if you click that one, and then this one, and then when your user enters it, okay, it will it will go further in your line of code. Okay? So how about if you did not place your print again? Of course, if we enter here, this line of code, this line will be not printed because it's commented out. This is a space, an empty line, and the next code is this one. So this line of code is this output. Okay, so if you type here, because you are only assigning an input to the variable user. So if you click on this one, it will only be executed and there is no output for your variable. Again, if you want to print this variable, the input of this variable, you use the print function so that it will print. So again, if you run this code cell, again, it will run from the first line of code until your last line of code in order, okay? So it's readable naman. So for example, PJ. So if you enter this one, it will evaluate if this is a code. Since this is a comment, it will not be outputted here. Then this one the output is here. Okay, so are we clear on how you use also your code cell? Okay, so per line of code is important. So if you have an error in any of your line of code, okay, it will be displayed here. For example, you forgot to comment this out, so there is already an error here and an error here. When you click the run button here, this will not be run, okay, because there is already an error. Okay, so be sure that you check for errors before you run your cell. Okay, so if you run it again, it will be able to run. Okay, so PJ, and it will print it. Because there's an output here because of this output. Okay, if you did not place this one, there will be no output here. Okay, so I am already teaching you this one because in your activity 2, diba? You already saw your activity 2. So it's nice. It's very exciting and challenging. Know how to use a chat, a simple chat. It's a simple programmed chatbot. Okay. So that's it. So the input function prompts the user to enter full name and assign entered value of the name of the user variable instead of you typing. So for example, here, number. Okay, so input, again, diba? For example, diba, in her example, 5. Instead of assigning here, we let the user enter a number and your application will evaluate if the number that is executed, if the number entered by the user is meets one of these criteria. Okay, so how? Input, again, followed by your parentheses. Okay, so for example, you did not place a label. So let's see what will happen. So it will only give you an input field. Okay, so for readability, you should always have your label. So how can you put your label? So let's just start this one. So you store it as a string. Okay, give me a number, please. Yan. So anyone naman. Okay, that's it. So if you run this one, give me a number, please. So let's say, for example, your user enters 100. So what do you think would be printed? So okay, so let's press enter. Okay, you see, there's an error. Now, this is what I am telling you. Okay? So, less than not supported between instances of string and integer. Why? Because your input, okay? Because your input, what's this one? Your input value will always be treated as a string, okay? This is a string, okay? And this is a number. So later on, we will also discuss on how you would convert, no, a string to a number. So you can convert it as, okay, number is equal to int number. So let's try it again. So this time, all the errors are gone. So this time, we click this one, so 100, and hopefully there is no more error. Okay, so there is no more error. Okay, so don't forget that one. Okay, in your input, okay, Python always treat it as a string. Okay, so in order for it to be used in mathematical expressions, you need to convert it to an integer. Okay. So that's it. So the input and the output function. So are we clear on this? So there are also common input manipulations. Okay. So what are these input manipulations? First, we can ensure that an input field accepts an integer before proceeding to the rest of the code. So as I have said, so how to go about it? So we use this function. So don't worry, don't memorize this one. Okay, so if you want to use it later in your code, you can copy this one and just replace it with the necessary variable. So that's why I keep on telling you that you should always know or understand what the code is all about. Okay? So while true, so while this is true, okay? Okay, and then this code will be executed. So let's proceed. Okay. So while true entered number, so this is a variable name. While true, okay, we what's this one? We ask user, to enter a number and store it in a variable called entered number. So this is the while statement and these are your code blocks. Why code blocks? Because you use your colon, okay, and it is indented. Okay. So while true, so while this condition is true, okay, it should be okay. It will always be executed. Okay, so I will show you so that you will understand it. So for example, the while true would be this creates an infinite loop which will keep running until a break statement is encountered. So what is the break statement here? Okay? So if what this tells us, so this, di ba? Entered number, so this line prompts the user to enter a value. So the entered value is stored as string in the variable. Wait lang, I'll just edit that one. Where's that one? In the entered number variable. Okay? In the entered number variable. So this is it. Okay? Now, if entered number, so this one will check if the number that is entered by the user is a number or not. Okay? The isDigit method checks if the entered string consists solely of numeric characters. If the user has entered a valid number, okay, what will you do? Okay, the string now is converted. This one, if entered is digit and not alphabet or a character, your entered number, we already saw this one a while ago, right? Here, where is it? The one we converted it a while ago. Just let me see. This one, di ba? We convert the inputted number here into the integer number. Because we cannot, because it will, di ba, as I have said, it will not be treated as number if it is not converted to integer. So this is the code to convert this into integer. So if entered number is digit, so is digit. So whether 10 like that one, although it's string, it is a number string and not a number that is treated as a number or a numerical value. Okay? So this one will convert it into a number. Okay, then okay, so 'di ba as I have said, each line will be executed from the first one until the last one. So this one will be executed first, this one will be evaluated. Okay, entered number is input, enter a number. That is why, let's say, so when we click enter, this one is this one already. Okay? And then, if we enter a number here, let's say, for example, if we enter a value here that is not a number, for example, 8. Okay? When we press enter, this line of code will be evaluated. Okay? So let's, for example, if we enter it, this line of code, why it is not aligned here? Because it's already inside an if statement. Okay? So you can have a double or a single tab. So, di ba, if statement, so this is a code block because there is a colon here. Okay? So if this is true, okay, if this is true, okay, this will be executed. Okay? But, and it will break. Okay? It will not return again and again. And if this is, uh, uh, if else, this one will be printed. So if you place here 8, let's say, so for example, entered number is input, this one. And if entered number is digit, so is 8 a digit? Yes or no? So definitely it is not a digit because it is a string. So therefore, this line of code, therefore, this line of code will not be executed. Rather, the else statement will be executed. So are we clear? So when we press enter, okay, this will be executed and it will return again to these statements. Okay? Because there is no break here. Okay, so if for example, uh, the break will stop the code. Okay, so if for example, oh, for example, 2, okay, it will it will still, okay, it will still execute. Okay, so how do we go about this one? So if finally, if we enter a number, okay, so this will now be printed. Are we clear? So I hope you understand it. So you can read this one. So yan. Again, so what are the use case of this code? If you want your user to type, for example, his cell phone numbers, okay? So for example, enter your cell phone number. Okay, finally you entered your cell phone number. Okay? So same principle. So there you can manipulate this one to allow certain what do you call that one? Certain format of your numbering and so on and so forth. So that's advanced na. Okay, you can do that also. Oh, so that this one, okay? Then what are the uses also? How can you also manipulate your input field? Okay? This one, if you would like to uh, um, to ensure that an input field matches the declared variable, for example, Okay, you would like to ask a question. What is the last name of the national hero of the Philippines? If you did not, uh, if you did not place here, if you did not convert it to lowercase, okay? Oh, for example, hmm, di ba, as I have said a while ago, whatever value also, no, also, whatever value you specify in your variable, okay, it's also case sensitive. So don't forget that one, okay? So for example, I place the here Rizal. So what do you think would be the output? If question 1 is Rizal, print you are correct. Else print please try again. Even though Rizal is correct, but uh, your input, which is Rizal in all capital letters, does not match the answer here in that is declared in the variable question 1. Okay, so let's see what's the output. Please try again. Because what you input here, although Rizal and Rizal for us humans, it's the same. But for the computer, it's not because it's case sensitive. So the technique here is that you should convert your values into uh
Small letter.
I yeah into small letters or upper letters by using the dot upper or the dot lower, whichever is your liking. Okay, for example, okay, because let's say, yeah, so again, when we press this one, okay, so as we input this one, when you enter it, diba, this code, this output is this one, this part. Then when you enter this one, this succeeding code, this succeeding code will be executed, meaning whatever your input here will now be converted in all lower cases. Okay, so for example, this one, di ba? For example, a while ago. So when we press enter, it is already converted into all lowercase. So in this part, the Python the Python reads what's this one? The value that is stored in the question 1 would be Rizal all small letters because you already converted here. Okay, so the system will check if question 1, if the variable 1 is equal to Rizal, which is all small letters, you print this statement. Else, you print this statement. So therefore, when we hit enter, it is already correct because it is already lowercase here. Okay, so are we clear on that? So it's ko naman, basta if you code, follow it line by line. Okay, so that you will not be confused. Again, this code will only show us that this time it's all in uppercase letter, so that whatever you assigned in question 1 will also be should also be capital letters. So if you use small letters here, you should use the lower. Okay? So that's the one of the techniques, no? Okay, so I hope we are clear here. Then in your activity, we have you will be here. You will apply this. Okay, so you can so be sure you can copy, but be sure to you understand. Okay, then in your activity, be sure that as I have said, variables should describe what you are doing. Okay. Then F string. What is an F string? F strings are being introduced in Python 3.6. Okay, so right now I think we are in 3.8. So it is a way to embed expression inside string literal. So meaning we could be able to use whatever input, whatever user input in an input function, we can use it immediately in our string. Okay, so how do we go about it? So what is the format? So we will declare it as F and followed by curly braces. No, these curly braces, we place the variable name inside the curly braces. Okay, so here, so again, we declare our variable. This time, we declare the question 1. We would like an input from the user. That's why we use the input function here. Then followed by the label. For example, in our previous example, what is the last name of our national hero? Okay? Then, another thing, we can also, di ba, we can always store, depends on you. We can also store the user input to another variable. Okay, so this time, we explore, no? So in here, di ba, we store an input variable in a question 1. So we let the user input something here, and then whatever input here will be stored in a new variable called answer1. So that's why the variable answer1 would be whatever the value of the question variable 1 here. Are you following me? And then whatever question 1, whatever the value of question 1 here will be converted into lowercase. Okay. So therefore, okay, variable question 1 in reality, the input value of question 1 will not be in all lower cases. Why? Because it is not converted here as in lower, just like this one. Okay? And it is only converted here. So, for example, if we would like to capture what the user types, okay, what will we use? What variable will we use in our F string? Okay? So what? So we will use this question 1. So, for example, if answer 1 again, we use answer 1. Why? Why do we use answer 1? Because it's the technique a while ago. Because it is the one with the converted, okay, function. Okay? Because if you use question 1 here, the variable question 1 here, okay, this is not be executed because it is not converted in lowercase. So are we clear here? Okay? So I hope we are clear here. So if answer 1, which is the value of this one, is Rizal, we will print this one. So, di ba, when you search in Google, like for example, di ba, search results for whatever you type. So the F string would allow you to use directly the values of your variables, okay, without any problem. So how do you use F string? So again, we print and then the open and close parentheses. Then this time, di ba, before your in order for you to use the value of the question 1 here, you should declare F. Because if you did not declare F here, it will be treated, although you place a curly braces here and your variable here, it will be treated as part of the string. Okay? So that's why if you want to, just like a dynamic answer, so whatever the value of your variable here, it will be inputted here in this string statement. So are we clear? So in order for this to capture the value of the variable that you declared, you can use your F string. So that's the beauty of your F string. Small F string, okay? Now, okay. Again, di ba, this is an if-else statement. So, if answer 1, the value here, is equal to the value Rizal, you will print this one. But if it is not the value of this one will be printed. So, let's take a look. So, if you run this one, and then, for example, the user entered this kind of answer, and then we press enter, this one will be evaluated. Okay, why? Because, okay, this input is already converted here because you use this one. Okay? And you see, your answer is this one, and this part of your F string is this one. So, what is the value of this question 1? It is the input of the user, which is this one. Okay? So, let's try. If you use answer 1 here, so what would be the output? So, if you run it, if we say again, Rizal, like that one a while ago, and you enter it, so the value of the answer 1 is the one being outputted here, which is this one that is converted in lowercase, which is all lowercase. So are we clear? So it's since this is a conditional, so there is a logic. Okay, so that's why you should understand. Okay. Now, what if we use question? Wait, okay, yan. What if we use question 1 here? So what will be our output? So your output will be here. Because, for example, same example lang po tayo So Rizal. So your output would be, please try again, your result is not correct. Okay? Your answer result is not correct. Because again, you evaluated the wrong variable. Okay? Because whatever value of the question 1 here will be the one that will be evaluated in these if statements. Okay? So are we clear on that? So in your activity, so so that you will practice it. Because in machine learning, we will be applying this one. And also your exploratory data analysis. Okay, so are we clear on this? So I hope you're clear. So that's the beauty of the F string. Okay, so again, this is the explanation. What is the N sequence? What is N sequence? The N escape sequence is used to represent a new line character. Diba, as I have said a while ago, each encode cell, each output or each input code cell is a line. So this is a line, this is a line, this is a line. If you insert a /n, meaning, okay, if you insert a /n here, meaning your input field will be here. So the input of the user will be on the next line. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so yeah, okay. So what if you did not place here? It's in the same line. So if you want your line to be on the next line, you can place the escape N. Okay, just let me again, it's just same with the one. So we only demonstrated the N line. Okay, so Rizal, again, your answer is correct. Okay, so same. Okay, so do you have any questions in the basic commands in Python? I hope you understand. So I will upload this video again, and you can also read naman this one, the So you request access of our notebooks, and I will what's this one? Grant access. Okay? So I hope we're clear. Yes, ma'am, Oluwa.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Please, I have
Yes
a
po.
question.
Mm-mm.
So you were talking about asking
Yes,
for
ma'am.
access for the Google Colab. Um, is it because
Mm.
people have the problem with that, or is it something we all need to do? Because I didn't drop my email on the group chat. Actually, I didn't know. I just saw the message today. Actually, this morning.
Mm-mm.
Do I need to also drop my
Yeah,
email on
what
the
you
group
will
chat, sir?
what you will do, because it is not shared automatically, ma'am.
I want
For
to work on the
example,
two activities without Google
these
Colab
are
and the
references,
Python.
right? So this is our references.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you click this one and you
So
are not, I think, na member, you need an access. You cannot open it if your Gmail or your Google account is not authorized to view it, ma'am. So you need to click this one, and I
oh,
will give you an access so that you will can open it.
okay,
Okay?
I'll just drop
So
my
you just click
email on
the,
the.
yeah, or any email, ma'am,
I'll
or
just
any email will do. Yeah.
okay. I'll actually prefer to use my
E-
school email because I only use my.
Yeah.
So with respect to the Google Colab, the previous activities that you gave, I'm really finding it
Mm.
difficult to do it. What do you think I can do, sir?
Yeah, just like Sir Sally, I will share
Can you hear me?
just like this one. I will share a notebook. I will share the laboratory notebook in your Google in your email, and then you can already access your own Google Notebook. Just double click it, and you can work on it. Now, no need to download or upload.
Okay,
Just
I'm
you can
actually
just work it work on it immediately. Yes, ma'am. Sir Sale, did you already saw the one I shared with you?
no. I plan to try to
Did
do all the
you are already
activities,
able to
all
access
the
it
laboratory, all
earlier?
the hands-on activities before.
Sorry.
I think it's the network.
The activities, yeah, we can we can
So
extend the deadlines of your activities.
okay, thank you so much.
Maybe,
I'm very
yeah,
grateful. If
yeah,
I'm still,
maybe, okay, here na lang when is your midterms?
I actually don't know. I think this is week
I
4,
think,
and midterms is usually week 9.
yeah,
This
week
is
9
week
or
4
week
already,
10.
right? So
Yeah. So we can,
yeah, so it's always
yeah,
week 9.
okay. So be sure that before your midterm exam, all your midterm activities will be submitted and has a con because
All the activities.
because I want to discuss the answers before
Yes.
you yeah, because in laboratory we need to review why is this, why is that. Okay? So
Okay, sir. This is
yeah.
quite more technical than the one we did during summer. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's
Yeah,
tough.
it's a
So
but yeah, but if you want to learn kasi advanced analytics na, yeah, everyone is using Python already. So this is the bread and butter of data scientists, the Python.
mm,
So you need to
okay, sir.
yeah, to have a basic knowledge on Python, and after this course you can attend boot camps, or you can, yeah, there are courses available, yeah, for your additional readings,
Okay.
or even in YouTube's,
o-
like that one. Okay?
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
okay.
I will try to
Mm-mm.
see if I'm unable to get it. I'm trying to get a friend who can also put me through
Yeah,
because my
yeah.
zero experience in computer science is actually affecting me now. I
Mm-mm.
am not used to these
Yeah, yeah,
things,
yeah.
but I really
I
want to learn
understand.
them. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
want to
I
learn them
understand.
because I just want to know. And I've invested a lot
Yeah.
in this
Mm-mm.
course. I have just one more
Mm-mm.
semester after this, so I really need to do everything. So please, if
Okay.
you are able to extend, we'll be very grateful. And
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you said, that we
yeah.
need to
No problem.
submit all before our midterm exam. Yeah,
Before,
I will
yeah,
definitely.
before I some,
Yeah,
so that we will
yes,
review
that's
it.
before.
We will review the answers.
All right, sir.
Okay?
Yes.
Because your midterm
Thank you so
exam
much
is,
for your understanding.
yeah,
Thank you, sir. All right,
because
sir.
your midterm exam is in a laboratory format also. Okay? So how
Yes, I
to,
know already.
yeah.
I know you're going to be.
Yeah, just like in your, diba? Just like in your sequel also. Diba in our sequel
Yes,
class, ma'am generally give us
yes, we
an
need
output.
SQL.
So
Yeah,
we need, yeah, he gives us an output. So
yeah.
we
Even Ma'am
discover
Ocampo
the
too. Even
we
Dr. Joy
discover
too.
the
We did Tableau and everything.
yeah we discover the code. Yeah, because in your comprehensive exam, it your diba before you go on your capstone project too, you should have your uh comprehensive exam, and it's difficult because it's face to face, and yeah, it's not open notes. And
Yes,
yeah,
I know. That's one
there's
of
an
the
hands
reasons I'm
on.
really concerned. That's one of the reasons I'm
Yeah,
really
because
concerned and
yeah,
I really want to
like
learn this. And
yeah,
even beyond the comprehensive exam too,
yeah,
I'll get to work with this certificate
like
someday. So I really have to
yeah,
be proficient
yeah,
in what I am
like
doing.
yeah,
Well, thank you, sir, for
like
the privilege.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you for your
like
understanding.
yeah,
Thank you for being
yeah,
considerate.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, sige, sige. Let's continue. So we will go now to the second uh, part, which is the how do we manipulate variables, and we also have your um, data types manipulation. So in here again, so in this notebook, we will explore how to manipulate variables and its data types. Okay. So again, how can we assign variable by the equal sign? So variable assessment. Okay, this is the variable and this is the equal sign, and after that is the value of the variable. And if we print this one, this is the output. Okay, it prints the string John Doe because you assign John Doe in the variable name patient name. Okay, so now if you run a code cell, okay, there is a number. Okay, do you see that number? Yan. Did you see that number inside the square brackets? That's the order of execution of code cells inside your notebook. Okay, inside this whole note. So so this the number one there means that this is the first code cell that is being executed. So what's the importance of this one? So whatever the variable that is reassigned the latest, it is the one that is assigned to that variable. Okay, so for example, we executed this one. Okay, so as you can see, this is 1 and 2, and the same variable names. So this one, John Doe, and this two is James Smith. Now, when we print, okay, when we print patient name here, the one the latest, okay, the last value of that variable will be the one to be executed, in this case this one. For example, um we again print this one and know, for example lang, so we, for example, uh I'll just demo it. So we remove this one. So uh, if we run this one again, then, di ba? 2, 3. So again, the patient name variable has a value John Doe. So that if we print, let's try to print now this one. If you print patient name here, we expect that although the arrangement of your notebook cells is like this one, but when you execute it, okay, it will follow the order of execution. So always remember that. Okay? So for example, if we print patient name, expected the value of the patient name here is John Doe here because we run this again. Okay? But for example, let's try to remove this one. If you run this one again, then if you run this one, okay, it's this one because 3, 5, okay, and 6. Okay, so the last value that is assigned to a variable will always be the one to be referred to that variable, or that's the value of the variable. Okay, so how can I? Okay, so I hope we are clear here. So initially, we assign the string John Doe to the variable patient name, and then print its values, and later on, yeah, I already demo it. Okay, then as I have said, I have already touched on the data type conversions. Okay, in Python, it's often necessary to explicitly convert values from one data type to another. This can be done using built-in Python functions. Okay, so in here, we will explore how to convert. Okay, so first, for example of a numerical string that cannot be used in mathematical operations. Why? So for example, num1 is equal to the string 1 and num2 is equal to the string 2. Okay, then we will try to add num1 plus num2, which is a string, and we store it in the variable sum num1 num2, and when we print it, why is it that it's 1 2? It's 1 2 because it only concatenated the strings. So if you add two strings, the addition sign is a concatenation function. So I hope you remember your Excel or your Google Sheet, no? When we concatenate strings. So it only what do you call one? Combine the strings. That's why it's 12. So for it to 1 plus 2, in order for you to have a sum of 3, you need to convert the num1 variable into an integer. So how do we do that? So there are ways on how to convert. Okay? So the first option is, okay, this one again, we convert, this one we declare, the variables. And then the option one here is we convert just like your lower, diba? That lower is a method. So just like that, you can store it in a new variable. Then you converted to convert, to convert an integer, to convert a data type into an integer, use the int, as in integer, int. Okay, then followed by the variable that you would like to convert. So in this case, now we are converting the variable, the number one string here, into a number and store it in the new variable called int num1 and also this int num2. Now we now use these variables in the mathematical operations like this one. So if we now add int 1 and int number 2, we now have 3. Because your int num1 is already an integer, converted integer. And your int number 2 is already a integer. Now, if you want to have your input again, oh, just, diba, just use your input function. Yan. First number, for example only, ayan. And input. Second number. Okay, so first number 10, then second number is 20. So the answer is 30. Okay? So that's it. So it's either the assignment of your variable, the value of your variable could anything, it can be a input, it could be a list, it could be a training data, it could be a source, okay, it could be an Excel file like that one. Okay, so we will learn in our next meeting, okay? So that's why always the variable is the most important, or the most important building block of your codes. Okay? Okay, so how about option 2? Use you can convert it, no, instead of converting it and storing it in a new variable, you can convert it immediately when you do the mathematical operations as this one. So integer num1 plus integer num2. That's why, di ba, this line of code. So this one will be equal to the integer version of the value of num1, which is the string num1, plus, so you can read it. So, di ba, we say it's readable. So, uh, uh, this variable will contain the integer the integer of the variable num1, which is the string 1, plus we will add the integer of the value num2, which is 2. That's why when you print this one, it is the sum of these numbers, this one. Okay, so you read your codes because, yeah, it's readable. Okay, then float, the same. Okay, you just use your float instead of the int. Use the float. Okay, so the same po. So yan. As I have said, float has decimal. Okay, so again, you can directly convert it during your mathematical operation. Okay, then in your float, okay, there are certain formats that you can use in your float. Okay, in how can you have a 2 decimal place, 3 decimal place, like that one? So no need to memorize. Okay, just know that if you use this line of code, okay, this one, di ba? Our float sum2 num1 2 is this one, because this is the last code. Wait, let's print it. This is the last code, no? That is one. So the value of this one is 3.0. So now, how can we add another 0 here? So now we get we store it, no? So that it's for easy remember. We store the 3.00 value of this variable into this variable. Then the format is, you use the format followed by the variable name, comma, and then your .2f, which signifies that whatever value of this one should have a 2 decimal floating number. So 2f. Okay? So if you place 3 here, of course, it will give you a 3 decimal place. If you place 6 here, of course, it's always 6. Okay, you can specify. So by default, your float has a single decimal place. Okay, so no need to 1. So 2, like that. Okay, so I hope you're clear on this. You can also use your f string. So this time, okay, this is the format of your f string. Okay, your variable name equal sign, of course, your f string followed by your f string, which is your, again, this is the dynamic. Okay, this is the variable, which is this one, the float sum2 num2, which is 3.0. Okay, and then specify this one. Okay, this is the format, so you can copy it. Okay? Just replace your variable names with the corresponding variable names that you declared. Okay? Then when you print it, again, this is the format since it has a tree. So if you want to, just like that. Okay, so I'll go back so that you will not. Okay, now we also need to convert strings. Okay, when do we need strings? As I have said, no, we already saw it a while ago. We cannot add or combine or concatenate a string and a number. Okay, so concatenate number with strings. So Python does not support direct concatenation of numbers in strings. So if you want to combine text with a number such as this, you need to convert that number to a string. Why is this a number and not a string? Because it has no quotations, okay? If you enclose this in quotations, this will be treated as a string. Okay, let's first take a look. So this one. Oh, this one. Okay, this one na lang. No, this one first. So age. So this one, we declare the age as a number 12. Your height variable as a number 6. Now, we want to print this message. So your message is a combination of a string. Why is string? There is a double quotation. Okay, then we use the plus sign for concatenation of strings. We want to uh, uh, for example, John is 12 years old. So this 12 should be a string and not a number. Since your age that is declared here is a number, there would be an error like this one. So in here, as again, we can convert string directly into the operation, like your integers a while ago and your floats, like this one. Okay, you can immediately without without storing it in another variable. So you can do that, or you can store it in another variable here. Like for example, age string is equal to string age. So then this age, sorry, this age string will be the one to be used here. Okay, so I hope we are clear. Okay. So first, yeah. So string and string height, okay? It is already converted. Okay, then when you print this one, John is, the 12 here is a converted string already. What happens when you do not convert it? You just insert the value of 12. There is an error. So can only concatenate string, not integer to a string. Okay? So that's the difference. Now, if, for example, we use the double quotation here. So this is a string. So I hope this will not produce an error. Oh, you see? Because this is already a string. So are we clear? Okay? So if this is not a string, it will produce an error because you need to convert it as string. You can also have a string, this is a variable name, so it's not. So when you want to use the age as a string, so you better enclose it in a string like that, or you can convert it. For example, age string is equal to string age, okay, and height. To correct this one, you can do this also, diba? Sorry. To be sure you type correctly. Is equal to, tama bang spelling? Height. String height. That's it. So since this one is already a converted, so you should use this one here, and this one is, am I correct? No, it's wrong spelling. this variable here and this here, so that it will now have no error. Okay, so I hope you understand it. So let me Control J this one for your reference a while by and by. Okay, so that's the string conversion. Okay. Now, as I have said, we can manipulate strings. So strings are one of the most fundamental types of data types in Python. Okay. Okay, so what are the string basics? We already have a background. So strings in Python are sequences of characters. They can be defined using either single quote or double quotes, but I prefer double quotes, okay? So it's the same when you use single quotes and double quotes, okay? But it's more appealing to use the double quotes, okay? So what is string indexing and slicing? So inside a string, we can index. So first, what is an index? So let's explore. So if we say index, we use indexing to get individual characters. Okay? For example, in here, we declare the variable message. The value is healthcare. Okay, this is a string, right? So in a string, okay, the position. So what is the position of the letter H in the string? It is not at the position, or it is not in the index 1. Okay? In Python, always start the position or the index as 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so always remember that. Okay, because you will also encounter this one again when we do now our pandas. Okay, when we manipulate our tabular data na. Okay, so in Python, indexing will always start at 0. So the first character or the first column would always start at 0. Okay, but if you would like to start at the end, it's always 1. Okay, -1, -2, -3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that if we say indexing, so in here, this formula allows us to get the first character of the string. So first character is a variable name. So we get the variable, this one, so healthcare. So in this message, since it's 0, get the first letter or the first letter or the index 0 of the string. If we print it, that's why we get this one. No, I have no battery already. Wait. If we, so that if you use, that's why you get a letter H here, okay? Because it gives it, you specify 0 here. But if you use 1 here, what would be the result? If you use 1, if we run it, of course, it's letter E. This one. Okay, so are we clear? Yeah, okay. I hope we're clear. So let me just, then character -1, as I have said, if negative, if you would like to start at the end, always start at the number 1. Okay, if you start at the beginning, start at 0. Okay, so for example, -5, what would be the letter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's letter H. Oh, you see? Okay, so that's the formula. So let me again change that so that you will have your notebook. Okay? What else? Slicing. What is slicing? So if indexing would allow you to get a character on your string, slicing would mean you extract a portion of that string. So there are two formats. So okay, you what's this one? first, this is the format. Again, you declare the variable, no? So if you use this format, so you get the character from 0 index, which is H, until the before 6. So when we print it, why it's HEALTH? So it will get the, okay, this is the index 6, di ba? What's the index 6 here? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, di ba? This is 6. Okay? But it will not include the index 6. Okay, so think of this line, think of this as the number of characters, no? The number of characters instead of up to what index, okay? So for example, we get from index 0 until the, okay, the 6 characters, or before the, or the 5th index, so before the 6th index. Okay, then we have also the message 5, YH care. Okay, when you, okay, it's reverse. Okay, when you want to get, no, the when you slice the string from the end, okay, you specify this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so from the end until naman to the index 5. Okay, that's why 0, 1, di ba? When we count from the end, it always starts from 1. So E is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it included here. But if this one, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this 6 here, so if we use 5, okay, when we run it, it does not include the H. Because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you minus 1 here so that you will know, no? So I'll just use 5 so that it will come. Okay? Then again, you already encountered this one. Okay? The upper, as you have seen a while ago. The lower, that lower. Strip. What is strip? So what is the meaning of strip? Strip is you remove all leading. What is leading? Before the string. And trailing after or in between the string. So such as this one. Diba? Okay, so if we say leading before, trailing after the string. Okay, so in here we declare the text. Inside the text, this is the string. It has a spaces before the health and after the analytics. So if you use this, if you use the dot strip and you print it, so in printing string, before I forget, in printing string, you can also combine, you can also combine strings immediately, okay, inside the print function. So you just use the print function and your open and close parentheses and your label and your whatever value, no, of your variable here. Okay, you can immediately tell. Okay, when you print it, this is what we can. So this is the label. Okay, my mouse is not working. This is the label and this is the value of the upper text. Okay, so it's not yet yeah, this one. So this part is this part. That's your label. So if you want also to have a label here, for example, here, no, health analytics space, then you want to have another text here, just separate it with comma. For example, slash, and then, for example, lowercase, yan. And then comma again, and then lower text. So you can combine. Okay, so if we print this one, okay, this is the output. Okay, so I hope you understand it. Okay, you just separate comma, comma, comma. Okay, in between what you would like to print. Okay, so if we strip it, we remove these spaces. before and after. Okay? Then replace. What about replace? So how to replace? For example, replace text is equal to your variable name, then replace, then open and close parentheses. First, you specify the string that you want to replace and separate it with comma. And another one, your the text that you want to replace. So in here, when you pressed here, okay, that's why it is it says here medical. That's why it says here medical analytics. Okay, because the health here replaces the medical here. Okay, so that's it. So that's the common string methods. And you have also your escape sequences. What's the meaning of the escape sequences? So an escape sequence allows you to include special characters in strings, which would otherwise be impossible to include. For instance, if you want to include a quote inside a string that is surrounded by quotes, you can use an escape sequence. So for example, in here, diba, for example, we would like to your quote is, he said, and I quote, healthcare analytics is vital. But if you do not place an escape here, as you can see, what does it mean? It means that, diba, a string is enclosed by two, diba, a string is enclosed by two quotations. So this is a string statement because it is enclosed by two. Okay? And another one, there is a, diba, there is another string here, open and close. So there is a character here. Okay? This has an error because it is not enclosed in a open and close quotation, because this one and this one is not an open and close. This one is an open quotation since it is followed by a close, and this is not an open quotation because there is a open quotation here. So the order also is from left to right. Okay, that's why these things are treated as functions or method, and Python cannot recognize healthcare as a function or as a method. That's why it's an error. So if you want this one, okay, what can you do? Okay, that's where it's either you use your escape. Okay, okay, use your escape. Escape. Sorry, my mouse is not working. Use your escape. So your escape should be at the beginning of the quotation. Okay. So what he said is, he said, then when the system encounters this one, it will escape it. What is it? It will analyze it. What's the right term? It the system will not treat it as as a closing quotation because it has an escape string. Okay, then also this one, it escape again, but if you did not have a escape here, okay, this one will be treated as the closing quotation of this open quotation here. Okay, so this is the error. There's an extra string. Okay, so are we clear? Okay, so that's why you also, before the quotation, you add a escape string so that this quotation will be escape or not interpreted as a closing or an opening escape. Or there is another one. Let me try if it's working here. So you can use your single quotation. That's the beauty of the single quotation. Wait. Oh, there is it. So, diba? There's no error. But as you can see, it's not a quote, diba? A quotation should be also a double quote. So what you can do is you can have your single quote here, and again, so that you can use your double quote here, and a single quote. And if you run this code, it's okay now. Okay? But if you are fond of using double quotations all around in a string, better use your so that you will not be you will now use your escape. Okay, so I hope you got it. Okay, then new line, as I have said, whenever you use this quotation, this and escape, okay, whatever the characters in the next to the n escape will be uh, printed in the next line, as is in this case. So this is the first line, this is the second line. So if you, for example, if you again place an n here, what you will expect, the line string here will be treated as another line. But why there is no error? Because the n escape will not treat it as another string. It will only bring the next characters and the next line. Okay? So I hope that this is clear. Wait, okay, so that's the way on how you can. Then tab string, okay, it only inserts a space, no? But you can use the space bar, okay? It's the same. Oh, it's the same function, okay? Or if you want it, yeah, you use the escape T, the same function. Okay? Then in this string format, I would only like you to, since I would only like you to concentrate on the F string since you are already familiar with the N string, okay? But if you would like to learn on the other formats, the traditional ones, this one, okay? For example, my name is, you use the percentage, okay? Percentage followed by the S, percentage age, okay? Sorry, my mouse is not working. So wherever what's this one? Percentage S would allow you to insert a string, and percentage D would allow you digit to be uh, a digit to be inserted. Okay, so this is the format, and then you need to format it, and then followed by the percent, and then you enclose it, and then you declare the variable. So be sure that if you declare, be sure that what you declare here is also the order that you declare here. Okay, but it's so toxic. So the since we are in 3.7 or 3.8 now, so we better use this F string. Okay, this is now the trend, the F string, because it's more readable. Okay, that's why they introduced it. Okay, just use the F string here, and then you can directly place the curly braces, the variable names into the curly braces that you would like. So it's more readable than this one, right? So my name is percentage age, and I am percentage D years old. Okay. It's more, this one is more readable than these two codes. Diba? Okay. So my name is parentheses, and I am parentheses. Okay. So this is more readable. Okay. So you please use the F string now. Okay. Okay. So that's all for the variable and the data types. Okay. So do you have any questions further? So in programming, okay, one tip, no, if you would like to pursue on programming, just continuously don't just watch. Okay, you should perform, because as they say, no, big di ba, why do the programmers why some of the programmers are very good? Because okay, they practice, okay? Because they type like us, di ba? Like us, if you are a medical laboratory science, how can you be good in blood extraction if you just read on how to extract, or you just watch in YouTube on how to extract, or on how to extract blood, but without any practice, di ba? So as they say, practice makes perfect. Okay, so that's one. So what I want you to also to remember is when you practice, you can watch naman videos. For example, you watch our lecture. So that you should place it side by side. For example, oh yeah, this side and this side is the video. Okay? So while you are watching, you are doing the laboratory or you are practicing. Okay? So that's the way on how you memorize or how you do things in programming. Okay, so maybe this would be yeah, I will now introduce you to the list, tuple, sets, and dictionaries. So it's short naman na, it's short. So as I have said, we can also store. I did not yet upload pala this one, the references. So as I have said, we can also declare variables. We can also assign to variables, lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries. So what are these one? So these are what we call data structures. Okay. So what are lists? Listahan, if you know Tagalog, your list. So, a list is a collection data type in Python. So, it is ordered. So, remember, a list is an order. That's why it's a list. So, your grocery list, di ba? That's why when you are uh, that's why when you are doing your grocery lists, di ba? You the items that comes first in your mind is probably the items that you need most, or the items that you use frequently. That's why it's always in your first of your lists. Okay, so it is ordered, but it is mutable. What do we mean by mutable? It can be changed, so you can rearrange the order of the list. And also, one characteristic is it allows duplicates. So in your list, you can have, for example, in your list of groceries, okay, you can have your favorite snack, piatos. Then, for example, you have a long list already. You can write again piatos, even though there's already a piatos in the first list. Okay? So that's the kana. So remember, the characteristics of your list is an ordered list. Is in order. Okay? Meaning first in, okay? Okay, the first one that you entered in the list is the first item, like that, and so on and so forth. But it can be changed. So your second item can be your first item, and also it can allow duplicate members. Okay, that's why they are versatile and used frequently in Python programming for storing and managing collection of items. So list. How can you determine that the variable has value, the value of the variable is list and not tuples, not set, and not dictionaries. So we can say that it is a list when it is inside the square brackets like this one. Okay? And it is and every item in your list, it's separated by a comma. Okay, so let's see. So how can we create a list? So we can create a list, no, of integers, meaning a list of numbers, a list of strings, or a list of mixed list. Okay, di ba? We have data type, so we can have a list of a number, a number, a string, a boolean, and a float, like this in this example. Oh, my battery is dead. Uh, Wait for a minute. I'll just charge my. I'll just charge my. What's this one? My charger is gone. Yeah. I'll just charge my in a while. My mouse is already okay. So sorry for that. So how to create a list? Again, this is your variable and we assign. So, di ba, if we say assign, we use the equal sign. Okay, we assign this list. So, as I have said, a list should be inside the bracket. So, we open and close bracket. Then inside this bracket are your items. Okay. So, this is an item number 1, which is separated by a comma. Then the second item, which is the number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And again, how do we print this list? We use the print function and the variable name. Okay? So I hope you are already familiarizing yourself in variables. And also, if you create a list of strings, so don't forget, it's the same. Your variable name, which is fruits, assign it equal sign, then the inside a list, again, square brackets, and your strings. So you have an apple, so apple string. It's a string because you have a double quotation, or you would, if you like, a single quotation, but mine, I would prefer double quotation. So this is an item, apple, a string banana, and a string cherry. Okay, then you print it, then followed by your variable name. Then creating a mixed list, again, this is a variable name, assigning it with equal sign, then this is a list because it is in a square bracket. Then this is a number. Okay, but if you would like it to treat it as a string again, okay, you enclose it in a quotation mark, and it will not be, it cannot be used in mathematical operations. Then your string, and again, what is Boolean? Boolean has a value of either true or false. And your float, again, a float data type has decimal points. An integer has no decimal point. It is a whole number. So when we print this one, okay, although you see, although the print here, the print here, and the print here, why is the output is next to each other? Okay, in Python, as long as it's not, it can, as long as it is not, the code you entered is not being displayed, or it is not expected to be displayed in the output, it will not be uh, it will not be displayed in the output. And the next code that will be outputted will always be in the next line. So always remember that one. So these codes will produce these codes. Okay, so this is your numbered list, your fruits, okay, and your what's this one, mixed list. So if you output a string, it has a single quotation. Okay, so we can manipulate. So as we have said a while ago, okay, we can manipulate, we can change. Okay, we can change, so therefore we can manipulate the lists. So first, we can add an item, okay, in the list. So how can we add an item first to the end of the list? So we can add an item to the end of the list by using the dot append method. Okay, so you just declare, so you just place the name of the variable name of the list, which is the fruits, this one. Okay, then we would like to append, then followed by the dot append. Then always when you have a method, it is always preceded by the open and close parentheses, and whatever variable or whatever string or value you'd like will always be inside the open and close parentheses. So orange, the string orange. So if we print this one, I think, wait, I think it's connecting, sorry. We can encounter error here. So I will ask you, why would we encounter an error here? Because It is not defined. So because this is the first code that we have run. Okay, so let's run first everything. Okay, then we run again. So this one is the value of the fruits a while ago. Then we append. Then it became the fruits now became with an orange because we already append it in this code. Okay, so how do we remove? A while ago we append, we add. How do we remove an item on the list? For example, you have a grocery and you want to remove one of your piatos. So your variable name dot remove, you use the dot remove method and followed by the item that you want to remove. In this case, banana. So this is the previous value of the fruits. So the fruits in your basket or the fruits in your variable fruits. So if we execute this code, okay, your fruit variable will on or your fruit basket or your fruit variable will no longer have the banana because you already removed the banana. Okay, then how about inserting? So we can also insert a list in a particular order. Okay, so as I have said, so for example, this is the latest items in your fruit list. So okay, again, in Python, when you start your counting from the left side, so the first item would always be 0, okay? So in here, so how do we insert the variable name, then the dot insert, and then open and close. Then the first one, you specify the index where you want to insert your uh, item. So in this case, this is your list. So this is 0, this is 1. So if you place here 1, you would like to insert the mango as your index 1 item. So since this is 0, when we run this one, therefore it will be inserted after the apple. So that this is 0, index 0, index 1, index 2, and index 3. Okay? Again, before we proceed, okay, as I have said, it will allow duplicates. Okay? So if you insert it again, number 2, I know, number 3. So what do you think, where will it insert? So this is the current, because this is the new variable. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So let's see if we'll be inserted 0, 1, 2, 3. Where will we be inserted? Supposed to be here. So let's see. Oh, so it is inserted before the orange because, okay, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So this is inserted. So it allows duplicates. Now, how do we sort? So you can sort your lists. So by using the sort method. Okay, again, the variable, then the sort. So it's readable, di ba? So it compared when you learn JavaScript, when you learn C#, when you learn PHP, the codes are very tedious, okay? But in Python, this is just as simple as this one. Okay, fruits, that sort. You sort the fruits variable, okay? So if we say sort, it sorts your list in ascending order from A to C, or from 1 to 10, or from 1 to whatever number. Okay, so when we sort this list, so since this is the last and this is the last value of your fruits, so I expect that this cherry will be here. Okay, and mango, orange. So let's print it. If it's true, apple, cherry, mango, orange. So yan. How about descending order? Okay, so if descending order, we just specify the parameter. So if you say parameter, so this is the parameter and this is the condition, okay? Parameter name. and then this is the condition. So the parameter reverse. So we will reverse the ascending order because diba, we use sort. If we use sort, it's from A to Z. So we use the parameter name reverse, then we set it to true. So if we set it to false, it's also like this one. So if we run this one, it's the same because reverse false, you sort reverse, it will not reverse. So if you tell that it will reverse it, now we run it, then it will arrange your item from Z to A and from 100 to 1 or from the highest number to the lowest number. Okay? Then how about reversing? What's the difference between the reverse function and the sort function? So the sort function will only, let's say, wait, I will just insert so that you will, because if you run this one, okay, we can run this one. So if we run this one from apple to orange, it will reverse apple to orange, but let me demonstrate it, okay? So let's put a banana. Okay. Let's append banana here. Let's append banana. Okay, when we enter this one, okay? So this one, okay? So this is the last because this is the 11th, okay? So when we run this code again, the reverse list, okay, when we run this again, the banana is number 1 and the orange. So you see the difference? Okay, so it only reverses. It does not rearrange alphabetically or numerically. It only arrange what this first, orange, mango, cherry. Orange, here's that one. Mango, cherry, apple. Okay? If you use the sort reverse true again, it will rearrange. So, orange, mango, banana, apple. Okay? So, if you click it again, okay, no, wrong. If we ascend it again, apple, banana, cherry, mango, orange. Okay? So, that's it. Okay? So what is the use case? In our medical field, you can store a list of patients using lists. For example, yeah, patient name is Alice, Bob, Charlie, Diana. Okay, yeah. So my question is, okay, how can you remove Diana? Okay, so let's test it. Code. So remove Diana. So patient names dot remove. Okay, followed by the open and close. Then what would you like to remove? Diana, like that. Then we print the result. So don't forget to print your result so that you can have an output. Okay, when we print it, your list does not patient names is not defined. Okay, patient name. Oh, why does okay, it because it is not we were not able to run this one, sorry. Okay, so yeah, so we remove Diana in the list. How can we append again Diana? Okay, so we append Diana, patient name, so append it in the list. Okay, append and Diana. Then we print it again, patient names. Oh, it is already append again. Okay, then you can exercise with the other yeah, when you exercise, you can create your new notebook, okay? And then type, do not copy and paste. So please type because the only way your brain can remember is you type, okay? Because you are not memorizing. So print a variable name like that. If you are keep on memorizing print variable name without typing, uh it will not last. Okay, you will forget it. Okay, but if you type patient names that remove, then when you want to remove patient's name, that you type also the dot remove. Oh, okay, I remember. Okay, that one. Okay, now let's go to tuples. What are tuples? A tuple is similar to a list in Python, but unlike lists, tuples are immutable. What is immutable? It cannot be changed. So its contents cannot be altered. So therefore, we cannot rearrange tuples. Okay. So tuples are used for grouping data and can be taught as read only. Di ba? In our files, you have your read only files. You have your view only. Di ba? You cannot change anything. So unlike lists which is in square brackets, you know that the value stored in a variable is a tuple if you see that it is enclosed with parentheses. So always remember this one. So each list, tuple sets, and dictionaries are enclosed with different enclosures. Okay, so for the list, it's brackets. For the tuples, it's parentheses. Okay, so like this one, numbers tuple. So instead of square, so if you enclose, sorry, if you enclose it in a square bracket, it's a list, okay, not a tuple. So since this is a tuple, so we enclose it in open and close parentheses. So if you close and open parentheses, it will automatically give you the close parentheses so that you will not forget. So that's the essence of the Python, no? So then you type in between. Okay, so this is a tuple. Okay, you can also create a tuple of strings, a tuple of integer strings, and a mix. So it's the same. This is a tuple. So therefore, what are the common operations that we can do? So first, we can access their elements using indexing. Again, what is indexing? Okay, so first, uh, wait lang, I will enter this one. Okay, so what's this? We run because if we run again this one, the variable name will not be correct. So here, for example, in the fruits tuple, so this one, diba? The fruits tuple is this one. Okay, so in here, the first code, okay, the first fruit variable has a value fruits tuple 0. So again, if we say indexing, if we start from left to right, which is this one, always start with 0. So in here, it is telling us that we get the list from this tuple variable in the index 0. Okay? So what's the index 0? Apple 0, 1, 2. Okay? So if we say 0, okay, therefore, uh, oh, this is your F string again, di ba? Your F string print, then followed by the open and close, then your F, then you followed your F string so that you can use your curly braces variable. Okay, so whatever value here will be included in your F string. It's just like a dynamic string because whatever you declare in this, it will be also be displayed in your string or sentence. Okay, so in here we get the 0. That's why it's apple. But if we say it's 3, so what do we have an error? Let's say. Why do we have an error? Tuple index out of range because we have said it's 3. So 0, 1, 2. Simply because it has no index 3. Okay, that's why it says in tuple index out of range. So again, you can search Stack Overflow. Okay, so I hope we are learning. So if we say, for example, 2, and of course, your fruit is cherry. Yeah, because 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So that's tuple. So in tuple, you can access their elements using indexing. Okay, you can also, as I have said, it's either positive indices or negative indices. So this is a positive because you started from the start. If you want to start from the last one, always start from number 1, okay, with the negative number. So if we say number 4 again, okay, what's the value? There is an error because out of reach. Again, why? Because 1, -1, -2, -3, and there is no -4. Okay? So, that's it. So, I hope you understand. I'm editing the output. So, that's it. Okay? Then, what is the common case? So, since the order is not, you cannot change you cannot change the order, you cannot uh, add, you cannot add items, you cannot remove items in the tuples. So, uh, the value you want to be there would always be there. Okay, for example, you want to store a coordinate, di ba? A coordinate can have a latitude and a longitude. Okay, so just print this one. So local coordinates. Okay, so this is the output. Okay, sets. Okay, we have two more sets. What is a set? A set is unordered. So, unlike lists and tuples, which are ordered lists, a set is unordered. Okay? What do you mean by unordered? So, unordered means if you add, I can show you a while ago. In a while. If you add a certain item on a set, okay, the arrange the index can be randomly placed. Okay, so sets are useful when you want to eliminate duplicate values, since it does not allow duplicates. Okay, unlike your lists. Okay, your list allows duplicates, but your sets does not allow duplicates. If ever there are duplicates, okay, it will, if you print it, it will only print the unique values. Okay, it will not print duplicates. So you will see in a while. So sets can be created. So again, if lists, it's square bracket. If tuple, it's open and close parentheses. Okay, and if it sets, it's curly braces, or you can use the set function. But for simple purposes, you can use the curly brackets, okay? So that it's uniform from the others. Or you can use the set open and close parentheses. But for me, you can use the curly bracket. So if you see a value assigned to a variable again, that is inside the curly brackets, you know that it's a set. Okay, so you can print set. Okay, so you can also print a set of numbers. Okay, just like this one. Okay, number lists. So what is this? It's a list because it's a enclosed in square bracket. So if you want to convert it in a list, you can use the set function. Okay, set, then the variable name, which is the list. Okay, so if you print it, it will print out as a set because it's a curly brackets. Okay, so what are the common? So since it can be changed, okay, it can be changed. Okay, you can add and remove also. So how to add an item to the set? So fruits set that add, and then the durian. Okay, okay. Then you print fruit. So let's say we run this one, and then when we run this one, so this time when I first run this, I was able to add here. So let's say if it's random, really random. So if we run this one again, okay, your Durian now is randomly placed at what's index here? Positive 0, 1, 2. Negative 1, 2. Negative 1, negative 2. Okay, so that's indexing. If you indexing, if positive 0, if negative, negative 1. Start from negative 1 from the last. Okay, so add. That's how to add set. How to remove set? By using the remove. So when we enter this one, it's remove. Okay? And then how can we check if an item is in the set? Okay, it will give you a false. So this is an added code, no, that you can utilize. So in here, we assign a variable name is apple in set is equal to, we are trying to ask, is banana in the fruit set? So that's it. So it's readable, right? So is the banana in the fruit sets? So just like asking, is the banana in this set, which is the fruit set? Okay, then if we print this one again, if you're using your F string, so you practice with your F string, it's good. So is apple in the set? This is the code. Okay, then you can have your variable, no, banana here. Okay, the variable. You here is apple in set. So this one. So this variable, okay, the value of this variable is only either true or false. Okay, because you use the in. So you are asking if is the item is in the set. Okay, that's why it is returned to false. But if you say I run na. And if you ask if is the durian is in the set, siyempre it's true because durian is in here. Okay, so I hope you understand. So what is the common use case to remove duplicate? So in your, diba, in your exploratory data analysis, one technique is to remove your duplicates. So you can use your sets. Okay, you can use sets. Okay, for example, your pandas data frame, you can store its values in a set. Okay, so that when you declare it in a variable, that variable will be will be the one, will be your new data set that has no duplicate values. So yeah. Okay, then lastly for tonight, I hope this is for tonight. Next meeting, we will tackle on the loop while loop, because the loop while loop for loop is that's why we will be discussing next week, so that you will have time to review all of the one we tackle already, because your for loop, while loop, and your else, if, elif, else, somewhat a combination of all that we have learned so far. Okay, so what is a dictionary? A dictionary is also an unordered list. So in our data structure, we have two ordered lists. We have two ordered collection of data. We have your list and tuples. Your unordered is your sets and dictionaries. Okay, a dictionary is a pair. So it's a pair, So you see, di ba? Your list tuple sets and your list tuples and sets are only single. They have no pairs. Like this one, apple, durian. It's only a one item. Okay, but your dictionary is always a pair. Like this one, this is a pair of an item in a dictionary. This is another pair of item in a dictionary. And this is a pair of item in a dictionary. So what is this? So dictionaries are also mutable, meaning it can be changed. You can modify them. Okay. What are the two parts of a dictionary? A key, this one, a key and its value. So this is a key or your label, and this is the value. So in here, your key is name, and the value of the key name, it's not a variable name, okay? It's if you, because a variable always precedes with equal sign. In a dictionary, it is separated by a colon, okay? A name is a key with a value John Doe. And age is a key for a value integer. This is an integer because this has no string again. So it's an integer 30, and the key diagnosis has a string hypertension. If you print it, it will be printed as pairs also, then separated by comma. So your format is variable, followed by your assignment equal sign, then curly braces. Okay, also curly braces. So both your sets and your dictionary are inside a curly braces. So you can have this curly braces, then press an enter key to go to a line of code, to a next line of code, to a new line of code. Okay, so in practice, okay, each item is in a new line. Okay, but you can also, I think you can also, yeah, you can also have this one. It's same, but since it for easy readability, since this is a dictionary, okay, it's easy for you to know what's the key and what's the value. Okay, in when you first see this the output or the code. Okay, so it's a best practice to put items in a dictionary per line, as in this case. Okay, so again, you will be separated with comma. Okay, why it is not, why this code has no more comma, this one? Because if you want to add another key, if you if you, diba, just like here in the where is that? Just like in your, diba, just like in your set, in your list, your last variable will not have a comma since it is not separating from another item. Okay, so this is the same. Okay, that's why there's no comma here. So if ever you want to add again, di ba? You can add here another one, for example, pet. Okay? Then bulldog. Oh, yan. Okay? You can be. Okay? So again, as I have told you, okay, it's best practice to uh, put your items in a dictionary per line so that it's easy readability. Okay, when it, but its output, it's single line. Okay, so how can we access a value using its key? So again, your variable name, and for example, our variable name is patient data. So variable name followed by a square bracket. So this is also, so remember, when you access a value of a variable, whether a list, a set, or a tuple, always use a square bracket following the variable name. Okay, so this one is the variable name and the key. Okay, you always use the key name, so this is the key. Okay, so when you accessing a value, no, so this part of the code means that are getting the value of the key called name and storing it in the patient name. That's why if you print this one using the F statements, this one will be output here, the John Doe, which is this one. Okay, if we want to output the bulldog, for example, pet. Oh, you use the uh, pet, yeah, that one. Then you access, you forget a date, so you're accessing the pet. Okay, and sorry, wrong. This, you are accessing the pet. Okay, and then your F statements use the variable in open and close braces. And if you run it, so this is the output. Okay, so I hope you understand it. Then you can also modify the value of a particular key. So again, you access the variable. So how do you access the key? A square bracket. Okay, and then you get the age, which is the key, and then equal sign. You now assign the value to that variable. So this one, it's also applicable when we are on now on the pandas data frame, like that one. Okay, so again, if you want to assign a new variable, okay, always variable name followed by the square, not open and close, so square, then followed by the key, then you assign it with the equal sign and the new value. Okay, for example, this one, so now age is 31. For example, we assign the pet as, what new pet would you like? Aspin, for Asong Pinos. So then we print it, the bulldog will be replaced by Aspin. Okay? Then how to, what's this one? Modify to add a new pair or a new key value for a pair. So as I have said, you can perform this one. Okay? Or you can simply add using this one. So again, variable, then you add a new key, and then the value of the key. So for example, this is the original, and we want to add a gender. So simply as this one, then it will be added at the end. Okay, for example, you also want to civil status. Okay, civil again, if you always know, you can have key names like that one, observing the undersign, underline, underscore. Okay, so married. Okay, yeah. Again, when you enter this one, it will be added here. Okay. Then removing, just use the del function, and followed by again this one and the key that will be deleted. Okay, so if we want to delete the pet, just click the pet and then run. So there's no more pet here. Okay, so the pet is not here anymore. So what is the common use case? So storing and retrieving data as key values such as configurations or records, which time can be accessed by a unique key. So storing patient records by their ID. Okay. Patient records, name, Alice, age 29, okay, age 30, age name. Yeah. Now, again, your dictionary does not allow duplicates. As I have said here, where is that one? Oh, ito. The keys in a dictionary are unique, which means that a dictionary cannot have two pairs with the same key. So we go now back here. Okay. So in here, in this code, we are demonstrating, okay, we are demonstrating a dictionary inside a dictionary. Why is that? So this is the variable name. Okay. Then this is a dictionary. And this is also a dictionary. That's why it's dictionary inside the dictionary. Okay, so this is a key. So the key value for 101 is this value. So the value of the key 101, di ba? A key is, di ba, a dictionary is a pair of a key separated by a colon and a value and a comma followed by the next dictionary item. So in here, in our example, the key has a value of another dictionary. Why dictionary? Because it has a curly braces, okay, and also has a key, a colon, and a value. Okay. So now, as I have said, unique. So a key does not have to be has does not have duplicate. So in this case, we have a duplicate age. Okay, it will not give you an error. However, the last, for example, the last entry, the last item that you have entered for that duplicate key will be the one who will be outputted. So in this case, age 30. So for example, you again declare, you can have age again, but it's not, and again, 19. So what will be the output? So again, the output will be age 19. So this is the output of, so how do we print, di ba? We print patient records borrowed by the key, which is here. So that's why it's outputting here. Okay, now, okay, the last value that has the same key will be the one to be printed here. Okay, so but it's not advisable. So if you want to print the 2, what's the value of the 2? So the key is here. Okay, so this is an example of a dictionary inside a dictionary. Okay, so I hope this ends our lecture tonight. So it's okay lang. It's 6 minutes more. So do you have any questions? I will just show you your notebook, your activity notebook, so that you will be guided. So again, where's the activity notebook? Activity notebook number 2. Okay. So this is your activity notebook number 2. So it's interesting, no? You can have your first web app or your application. You can if you learn how to do if else if like that one, okay, you can even do your own calculator, okay, or your simple in your midterms you will do a simple application about health. Okay, so in your laboratory activity number 1, okay, it's 5 points because it's you enter your code here. So I have shared your own. I will share your own notebooks in laboratory 2, and you need to enter your code here. Okay, the enter code here. You do your entry code here. So your expected output should be like this one. Okay, what I mean by this one. So if you run this one, your output should have number of patients admitted today and 100. So how can you have this one outputted? Okay, so from our lessons, how can you have this one? By your print value. Yeah, so your first line of code here is print tapos this string. Okay, that's a bonus already. Then how can you output this one? So assign the number of patients admitted today, which is 100, to a variable called patients today. So di ba, you declare your variable. So variable patients today is equal to 100. I'm giving now your bonus. And then how to display this one? So by printing the variable. Okay? Okay, then arithmetic. So this one, this is your expected output. Okay. So if you see labels, how do you do labels in Python? Okay. You use your print statements. Okay. Then this one, your arithmetic. So it's kind of logic. So times, plus, multiply. So you read what's this one? You read properly the tasks, okay? Then relational operators, okay? So for example, di ba, I have told you here, determine if okay, this one naman, determine if the new number of patients admitted from activity 2. So in our activity 2, new admissions are stored in what variable? Okay, what variable did we store the new admissions? Is total patients, right? This is the variable. You read na lang. Compute the total number. So this is the new admission. In your new admission, there are 75 males. So you store the 75 males into male patients. So in here, male patients is equal to 75, right?
Yes,
Then
sir.
female patients is equal to 25. That's it. Because you're storing this number only, di ba? And then your total patients would be the total number of patients. So how can you add this one? So we already learned. So for example, total patients is equal to male patients plus female patients. So that's it. And then you print. So if you want this output, so just use the print function, okay? And then here, kasi new patients admitted is stored in the variable total patients. So in here, okay, this variable, new patients today is equal to total patients. That's it. That's the code. Because you need to store your new patients admitted for a new variable named new patients today so that you will be using it in these tasks. Okay? Logical operators. Okay? So you read this one step by step so that your code will also be step by step. Okay? So that's the way on how to code. Okay? So by the way, you can perform this one and we will explain naman it one by one so that you will learn a lot. Okay? So this is one naman is criteria. So logical operators end by using the and or like that. And that one. And conditional and input. This one you will create your first ever program chatbot. Okay? So how can you display this chatty? And this is the output. So use your F string. Okay, wait. This is just an ordinary string, print string. This is an output, right? So this is your label. Okay, because when you input this one, you input your name, all capital letters here. Ay, all capital. Sorry. Uh, what I want you to be here is, what's your name? You input your name as small. But be sure, you have a label here. So you utilize the combination of your N, N escape, di ba? If you use your Nscape, you will input here, di ba? So that's your Nscape. Oh, I'm giving you the tip. And then can you display this one? So after your N escape, you enter this string. And followed by there is a space here. Oh. Then, okay, you should enter your name in in small letters, all small letters. Then the next time the chatty will reply, this is an F string. I hope you remember your F string. So what a lovely name you have there. How can you achieve this, PJ Arsecasim, in all capital? Okay, so you need to perform that upper case, that upper function in your variable, whatever variable you use. So there are variables here. You use these variables. Okay, and so on and so forth. And this one, okay, this one again 39. Then F string, and then this one is only a print string. And this one is an if else. Okay. So what clinic would you like to visit? Again, the input should be in a new line. And then when the patient enters ENT, since ENT is not here, therefore this is the F string that will be printed. Okay? But if there is a but if the user enters surgery, all capital letters, okay, it says here that you have selected the clinic specified. So it is the F string. See you there. This is the one that will be displayed there. Okay, so yeah, you can try it so that you can learn. So we will kan naman, you can learn naman. So you can watch our videos. So I will upload as soon as the Google will allow us to upload. Okay, so I hope you learned something today. So it's 10 already. So see you next Thursday. Okay. Okay, so thank you. So do you have any questions more?
Thank you so
Sir,
much, sir.
Okay. Sige.
sir,
But you can kwan if you, 'di ba, you are on health analytics kasi. So if someone asks you if because I'm sure if you are in health analytics, the number and in your masteral level, the number one that you are they will ask you if you know any programming language, the basic programming language. So yeah, Python. You can if you practice this Python, it's not gonna me also me. I only learned Python a few during the pandemic actually. During because 'di ba in pandemic, 'di ba? We cannot go out like that one. So yeah, that's the time I started learning Python. So I even attended boot camps, okay, and Udemy and Coursera like that one and YouTube. So it helps a lot. Okay? Any question?
sir,
Yes.
can you please send the meeting for last, I
Yeah,
mean the
yeah.
recording
Yeah,
meeting?
I will also upload it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
will
sige, sir.
upload
Thank
it
you.
all. Yeah, maybe tomorrow siguro. If
Sige,
I
sige,
will
sir.
ko na lang, I will post it at the same time. Okay? It's fun, it's
Sige, thank
exciting to
you.
learn Python, yeah. Because
Okay, sir.
you're in masteral, so you should have at least a background in programming. And I think yeah, me kasi I also know how to program them PHP like that, but it's on basic and intermediate only. But yeah, Python, you can let us all learn Python because it's the kon na ngayon. Python, they are being used na in machine learning in AI like that one. Because if you are only on yourself in Rapid Miner kasi is extensive resource and yeah, I think there are it's GUI so it's click and click only. Okay? Okay, see you
Yes.
next time. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you,
Okay.
sir. Sir, don't
You
forget to extend
you
the
too.
date. And if I watch the video and I have questions, I will just
Yeah.
chat you
Yeah,
privately
yeah, yeah,
to ask
yeah.
questions.
Okay. Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Okay.
much, sir.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.